Hi, welcome to episode 3 of CRASHTON Talks. I'm your host Chris Ashton, and this week we have on our first guest. But before we get started, I hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year. I had a great time. I got to spend some time with my family over Christmas. We went out for dinner and I got to chase my wee boy about and stuff, so that was pretty fun. New Year was spent up north, playing at a hotel called the Craigellachie. I've done that a few years in a row now with my covers band Transit Jukebox. They always put on a really good night, and yeah, it's just really fun. Something different for us as well, because usually we're playing like weddings and functions and stuff, and the sort of New Year thing is always really different. But yeah, so yeah, our first guest is Damien Hendry of a band called Ocean of You. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice that the video cuts out sort of halfway through, just because the camera failed on us. So the first half will be video, second half will be audio. But if you're listening, that won't really matter. But it was pretty cool talking to Damo. He's like one of my friends. We've been friends for about 10 years now. Played in bands together. He plays in my CRASHTON band. Plays guitar, but he also has his own project, Ocean of You. And I got to talk to him about how he got started in music, his sort of like experience in the industry, and also his affiliation with like a kind of well-known Scottish football club. So it was really cool just hearing like his sort of perspective on it, because although we've been friends for a long time, there's like sort of questions we've never really asked each other, so it was pretty cool. But I hope you enjoy it, and I'll save you listen to my dulcet voice any longer. Enjoy. So thanks for coming on.
Sorry.
This is Damien Hendry, also known as Ocean of You. I don't know if you want to introduce kind of stuff that you do.
Aye, well, the Ocean of You thing that you mentioned, it's like kind of the name I've given to my solo project.
Mm-hmm.
It all started off, as you'll know better than anyone, when I kind of left Fluorescent Hearts. Initially things with that, again, you'll be able to back me up, were kind of a bit intense, and as much as a lot of people thrive on that, and I did for a while, it kind of started to kind of get on top of me a wee bit, and just being like in the midst of that much kind of tension and pressure, and like as much as it was fun when we were playing, like all the stuff that goes along with that kind of took its toll a bit on me, like my mental health sort of thing. So it kind of got to the point when I was like, right guys, I can't do this anymore, so I need to take a break. And then after, like, well, not very long after that at all, I found myself, obviously I was still, like, I didn't just, my love for music just didn't just switch off with that.
Yeah.
So I found myself, like, still writing things, and still coming up with ideas for songs and recording demos and stuff. And I felt like kind of rejuvenated and kind of motivated again to maybe try something new. So rather than just calling it Damien Hendry, like, the kind of obvious thing for like a solo thing, I decided to go with like a band-ish sort of name. Kind of, it was more fitting as well, because the stuff I was writing was more like, it was like a full band sound. It wasn't just like acoustic stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just like recording all the parts on the demos, so a band name seemed more fitting, and that's what Ocean of You was. It was actually a lyric of one of my older band's songs that I was writing.
It really?
It was an Always Read the Label song that I was writing that never got recorded or played live or anything like that. And there was a line in that. I think it was like, it's startling to think all of this could be true, afloat on a cloud in an ocean of you. And I thought Ocean of You was really cool.
That's
so I
cool,
stole
man.
that
Yeah.
I nicked that off
didn't
myself
even- I
for
didn't
my
know
own
that.
band name.
I think like the singer-songwriter thing can, I don't know, can kind of like box you into like just having a normal, your normal name can kind of box you into like being a particular kind of artist, if that makes sense. People,
I think so, and I think there's an expectation as well.
do you think it's the double barrel name? Do you know what I mean?
What, just having like, what, using like your first name and your surname?
Uh-huh.
It just kind of gives you, I think it's because you've got that expectation of like listening to stuff like Damien Rice and David Gray and like all that, like, I know they're like nothing alike, but it's like you kind of have this expectation of like a singer-songwriter vibe, and especially like now with like YouTube and everything and Facebook sponsored ads popping up, and you see posts of the people that are just using their name, it tends to be that seems to be that singer-songwriter thing.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but what I was doing wasn't really that. So I wanted to give it something different, like a different kind of like representation. I think similar to what you've done with CRASHTON, because you started that off as just Chris Ashton, didn't you?
Yeah, well, like Damien's been playing guitar with me since Fluorescent Hearts, obviously, but like when I started doing my own music, like Damien's been there from the start. But initially, like I went out just as Chris Ashton, and I started noticing that the gigs I was getting offered were all like supporting sort of singer-songwriters, and like I love listening to that kind of stuff, but we would turn up and we were playing like
as a band,
kind of pop rock sound and stuff, and it can be quite anthemic, and like that paired with like singer-songwriter stuff can just be, I don't know, a bit strange. You know what I mean?
And it's funny as well how like singer-songwriters like is a genre. Like it's not just like because ostensibly like everything that anyone writes and sings is a singer-songwriter, but it is like a genre. It's like it's not like a band kind of thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's evolved.
So weird,
It is funny, isn't it? It's like it has evolved to have this meaning of like these kind of like more. I don't know if it's like more melancholic necessarily, but it's like more kind of stripped down.
Like you don't get like a guy in a metal band. Like that's not a genre, do you know?
I know, exactly. I know. Like
guy in metal
singer
band.
shredder. Yeah. So it's like I think the thing that I did with Ocean of You and the thing that you've done with kind of rebranding, even though that's probably a wanky thing to say, is CRASHTON rather than Chris Ashton. It is just more representative of the stuff that we're doing musically. Yeah, I think.
What kind of was that? Because I've wanted to kind of like reel everything that I was doing back into being like mine, because there's obviously stuff we can't talk about that happened with Fluorescent Hearts, where things were sort of out with our control.
I'm sure people would love us to talk about that though.
I know, but maybe for another day. But one of the things that I liked about Fluorescent Hearts was the branding, and was that everything seemed like it was under the one hub, because we had like the FH logo and all the merch and everything was quite consistent. It's hard to kind of get something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like when I was doing Chris Ashton, everything that all the logos I was making just looked pure shit, and I was like, why would somebody want to wear a t-shirt with some guy's name on it?
I know,
do you know what I mean?
I know.
So like the CRASHTON thing sort of made sense, and doing like the podcast and stuff, it sort of like I can put all these things
under the
under
CRASHTON kind of
the one hub,
like brand again. Be wanky, but it is, isn't it?
Yeah. So what about like how did you get started? Like what was your first sort of interest in music?
Well, and as in actually being a musician, obviously, like growing up like anybody else, it was my parents' music I was listening to. So, and my mum and dad were quite different. So it was like stuff like in between like Oasis and like ABBA. I think the first two tapes that I had was like an ABBA greatest hits and Oasis. What's the Story, Morning Glory, and I had like a rubbish like cassette deck thing. Like I think it was actually an old Walkman,
right?
Like an old Sony Walkman, like an actual tape player. So like that's the kind of stuff I listened to, and a lot of 80s stuff, Ultravox and the Stranglers, like quite diverse stuff. But none of those influences really like meant anything until like I started trying to write my own stuff, and the thing I first picked up was a guitar, and it was just like kind of generic like guitar lessons in school. So like reading tab and like playing like really slowly, and then kind of picking it up and like literally playing like bloody Three Blind Mice and like stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like really really simple stuff. But like I quite liked it. I told my mum and dad at the time. They got me like an acoustic guitar, and I started playing around with that. And that's how I got started really. But it kind of took me a wee while to get into it, because I tried and failed a couple of times to kind of teach myself some more stuff like chords and that. And I kind of got frustrated with it and kind of put it down. And it wasn't till maybe... So I probably got the guitar when I was like 13, 14 years old. And it wasn't till I was about 15, 16 when I decided to really get stuck in and teach myself.
When did you start writing songs?
Not long after that. So probably around 16 when I kind of mastered like the basic mastered. Like I could play the basic chords one after the other. Do you know what I mean? And I'm talking like I'm not talking like power chords or anything like that yet. I'm talking literally just playing like off a wee chord sheet, like just the normal kind of like
like when you've got the utensils to make the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Exactly, yeah. So once I had that, and I could like chop and change between them like at will. I had the power to start putting them in my own order, sort of thing, and then from then just came like ideas and lyrics, I suppose. But it took me a while also to crack the singing and playing thing at the same time.
I remember that as well, man.
It's like so hard because you're trying to like even when you're trying to play along the songs that you know, like say like dead easy ones, like for example Oasis songs or like Coldplay Yellow was a piece of piss to play on the acoustic guitar. It's like one of the first songs I tried to like learn when I was like first starting out.
Yeah.
And you want to sing a syllable when you strum. It's like so difficult to like detach that in your head, and I think it's probably the same with drummers, like not wanting to hit. Like I remember when I first started playing drums, like not wanting to hit the hi-hat when you hit the kick drum. Like you have to kind of separate it out in your brain, sort of thing. And that took a good while as well. But once that was like cracked, it was like that was it.
Yeah,
I could start really doing whatever I wanted. The
first song I remember doing that with was "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Yeah,
because it's one of the first songs that you want to learn. Like
sure.
Like if most people that get into rock music, it's like one of the first songs.
When I got my first electric guitar, that was the one that I like. Yeah,
like see, try to get dun dun dun. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's the and the muting and singing that chorus at the same time is really fucking hard. But when you get it, man, it's like
exactly. It's like it's just like a wee, it's like a wee thing. It's like a wee like gate in your brain, and once you've opened it, it's like and you're through it. Like that's you.
It's cool, man. So what about like? Did you study music?
No, not really. I mean, I did it in school. Like,
but you went to uni, didn't you?
People did. I did go to uni. I did. I got into Paisley University, as it was known at the time. It's like UWS now.
UWS, yeah.
I got into Paisley Uni to do. It was actually like a freak that I ended up going to Paisley. It's my first choice. I was actually doing history at Glasgow.
Right.
And I needed 2 A's or something to get into that. But I was sick during one of my exams, right? I'm probably digressing way too much here. But I was like sick during one of my exams. I had to leave, and then so I didn't get into Glasgow. But then I got my appeal grade through, and it was an A.
Right.
So I was appealed from a C to an A. So I would have ended up going to Glasgow, but I'd already started at Paisley and I quite liked it. Okay. So I was going to do history at Glasgow, ended up in Paisley doing music technology. And again, I'd been playing about, by this point I'd been playing about with like, it was like Cool Edit Pro or something like that at the time, which then became Adobe Audition, like, and just using like the microphone in jack on the front of the PC and like recording really, really low quality, like crap sounding stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of learn how to do that a bit better. But then, like, I think the mistake that I made, and I think in hindsight, I would have done it a bit differently. I've since met loads of people that have been doing kind of like production courses at Cumbernauld College, for example, where it's like dead hands-on. You learn like loads of practical stuff straight away. I think in hindsight, I would have done something like that first, and then if I wanted to, then went on to uni and done music production. But because I went and did music technology, it was called, there was hundreds and hundreds of theory, like loads of theory, like fucking like boring stuff.
That used to annoy me. Like in there wasn't a lot of theory in the courses that I done, and I studied at Cumbernauld College as well, and there was a lot of practical, right? But the theory that was in it sort of annoyed me, man, because I was like, the stuff that you can definitely benefit from knowing about particular frequencies at EQ and all that, that's obviously, you need to know that from a production point of view. But see, just like where you should place a microphone on a guitar amp, like I don't think the where is the important part of it, if that makes sense. Like it's about, you should be teaching like people how to identify where the best sound is, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
because like they would have like particular positions, and they're like, no, that's what you place it on this part of the fucking cone, or is it like, do you know what I mean? But that's not necessarily the case, and every
every engineer that I've worked with, like the most recent one that I can think of has been Stuart McLeod. But they all have different techniques. But Stuart McLeod's like I remember asking him, how do you do it? And he basically says, I put a finger in one ear and I get down on the floor to the amp, and I find with my ear where the best place to position the mic is.
Simple
So
as
it used to annoy me, man, like in college, because I'd be like since doing the course, like I feel like I've learned so much more being actually just doing it.
Just doing it, yeah. And I'm the exact same, like with the course at Paisley.
That's
not
not
absolutely nothing wrong with it, by the way, but
Yeah.
I just felt like I was absolutely drowning in theory, and we didn't really get to touch anything until like second year. And by that point, I was already quite disillusioned by it, and I'd already started doing my own stuff and kind of getting better through doing it, like myself anyway. So I ended up dropping out of that, and I've just like, just kind of developed it myself.
I should say, like, that's not to say that the course that I done wasn't great, like, because I always cite my time at Cumbernauld College and the lecturers there has been like an important part of my musical career. But I just thought that particular part of the course, the way that, so I think it's, who's it that runs the courses? It's like
No idea.
I can't remember who it is. It's like a body though, it's behind, behind the curriculum that designs the courses and what needs to be in it and stuff.
Right.
But I always thought that particular part of it was sort of a waste of time. That if you spent more time with a lecturer, like on the field, like it definitely way more beneficial.
That's the thing, and probably different people interpret it in different ways. Like maybe we're similarly minded with the way we learn and the way we take in information or whatnot, the way we process things. And again, that just because I didn't like it doesn't mean to say that it wasn't a great course. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was young. I was like 17 when I started uni. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then I just turned 18. Suddenly I could drink. So I was in the student union a lot. I had all this money like for the student loans and all that. So like, I probably like kind of like I didn't do myself any favours at that time in my life.
I think at that
point
point is probably where we started crossing over then, because we met at like a party and stuff when we were younger.
Aye.
And I remember your band were sort of like, we played in like the same bills and stuff.
You know quite similar, yeah.
So like, when did you start gigging then?
I think my first gig was,
what age were you?
I think 16.
Yeah.
I think I was 16. And it was absolutely horrible.
Really?
It was really bad, man. People started like leaving and all that, and like, yeah, it was really, really bad, man. Really bad. But it's an important learning experience, I suppose, and an important first step. It's a punk band called Area Code. We played like Sum 41 and Blink and like some of our own like originals, and they were just absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Like really bad. Like we were terrible, but we thought we were great.
I think like my first gig was shit as well, man. But I think like that's natural. Like from what I gather, I feel like stand up, like that's the thing that keeps you coming back. It's sort of the same with music, man. It's like you want to do better at it. You want to get to that point where you play a gig and people are like impressed.
Aye.
Where you know that you're like the best band in the bill.
Aye.
That's cool, man. So what about, when did you start Always Read the Label?
That was, I think, well, although I grew up in Cumbernauld, my family moved down to a place called Moffat in Dumfries and Galloway, and I was like 9. So I did my last like couple of years of primary school down there and all of my secondary school down there, and then moved back up at 17 to like start uni. And it was just after I moved back up, I was in a band at a time called Prozac Mouse.
Right.
It was like a band name generator, so it was always like a mixture of Modest Mouse and Prozac House, right? Like we were doing like some of a couple of the first Always Read the Label songs were like the last couple of Prozac Mouse songs. And because I was like a year older than the bassist and a couple of years older than the drummer, I moved away first, and so I was kind of like, well, what's going to happen with the band? Like, it's pure miles away, and we're not going to be able to keep things up. So, I started always did the label with my pal Colin at the time, who had moved up kind of similar time to me.
Yeah.
So he played bass. We advertised for a drummer. Found a guy, I think it was on like Gumtree or something like that. Found the guy, and yeah, that's when always did the label started. So like 2005, I think. And that was like kind of, at that time it was kind of like emo type stuff.
So like Always Read the Label probably just started when I met you then. It's weird because I got the impression that you obviously been playing for a while, but I got the impression that band had been around for a while, because I was in a band called Nevertheless at that point. It's like a little 3-piece that I started in school with Gary, and I thought it was like a similar thing, but you must have just started at that point.
Aye, I think
That's
so,
strange,
yeah.
man.
But I remember, I think it was like the awareness, like the kind of peripheral awareness, because yous were quite heavy, like quite heavy guitars and like quite emotional music, and yous were a 3-piece as well.
Yeah.
It's like a sort of like kind of, I don't know, just felt like a kind of a
Blink and Green Day, you know.
kind of if you want to like think of it.
Yeah.
But like it was like, but I made no secret of the fact that I actually loved you guys. So I remember when I got your like one of your demos on CD, it was just like a blank CD with like writing on it, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like absolutely brilliant, man.
I found that
It's
so
like,
weird, man.
I think it was like There For You and Done Your Boxing, I think, was the two songs that were on it, and I absolutely loved them, man. Like they were rough as end, but I listened to that all the time.
I think that's the
This
thing
is
that
before
I
we even,
remember
like,
about you though.
This is
Like,
before we even became pals at it, and I'm sitting there like jamming out to your songs, man.
that's what stuck out to me about you though, is that like you would come along to the gigs and stuff, and you were in a band. Like that at the time, everything, and we were like really probably quite snobby as well. Like in terms of like we wouldn't go along and see other bands and stuff. Gary was always been like quite sociable. But I don't know, there just seemed to be like everyone had their own cliques. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, I think so, yeah.
Even though everyone was like cool with each other backstage and stuff, it just seemed to be that everyone was quite unsure of each other, but you were always like, you would turn up in the weirdest places, man. Like we played like the Student Union. It was like a band, the band after that. We played in like I can't remember the name of it, man, but I remember playing there, and you were in the
Was
crowd.
it out of the Ark or something that you played?
I think it was the Ark, yeah.
Aye. Like just up face Strathclyde Union?
Yeah,
I
so
think it was,
next to the City of Glasgow, I think it is.
Aye,
Is that
right? Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, and then not long after that, that band ended, and then it was Gary had said, why don't we like get demo, do you know what I mean? To play guitar for what became Fluorescent Hearts. But, it's the one thing like that always stuck out to me is like you would like specifically go along and see bands and stuff like that. So,
to be honest, I like to drink, so it was like
this is fucking shit.
Use for rubbish, but I just like it was an excuse to go. So hey, I'm going out for a drink tonight. Oh, what for? I'm going to see a band.
Play that fucking EP.
No, I really did like yous, man. Like all your iterations. Like obviously, Nevertheless being the first that I heard. I think it was like City Life.
Yeah,
and then, or was it Soundtrack then City Life, or was it City Life then Soundtrack?
City Life then Soundtrack. City Life was basically just Nevertheless, and we tried to do what everybody does. If it's not like when you're younger, you think like if you've not got a record label after a year, it's time to fucking start a new band.
Yeah,
it's stupid, man. But yeah, so I would do that every year. I'm like, I haven't been signed. I'm going to
reinvent yourself,
start a new band. Like Gary, do you want to fucking come and play drums?
Yeah.
It was weird. That's maybe something to talk about as well. Is like about how different that is. Because like I used to think like a record label was the sort of like end goal, and now it scares me. Sorry, I'm just readjusting this. Now it scares me, and I don't want to be in that position. Like there's a lot of things that have. If I were to think about my end goal when I was younger, where I wanted to end up, that if I was to talk to my younger self, I would be disappointed that I didn't get certain opportunities or didn't take certain opportunities that would have led to probably like things like having a record label and sort of like the things that come with all of that stuff. But I feel fortunate now that I'm in a position where I lost out on some of those things, because recognising that like having YouTube and all of that stuff, like you can be in control of it and sort of build your own empire. Do you know what I mean? You seem to have done that. Like I'm only just starting to do that kind of thing. You seem to have like built it quite well.
I think though, like with the record label thing, and as you say, with the sort of like online musician revolution kind of thing, and all the tools that we have now that we didn't have like when we first kind of were bumping into each other back at like what 2005 2006.
Yeah,
probably like MySpace was just starting like to be a thing then, and maybe Facebook like really like starting early Facebook time, but like I think like you say back then it was like everything was about getting signed, because that was like and back then labels were a good thing. I think if it was the right fit and if it was the right thing, if it was the right opportunity for you, I should say, it was probably the best thing, because they had all the money, they had all the connections, they had all the they had a monopoly on everything that you needed.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
now it's like kind of more open source. Like everyone can access, like everyone can put their tunes onto Spotify and iTunes and that now. You don't need a label to do that. Everyone can make their own website now. Don't need a label to do that. Like you can make your own like Facebook page. You can post your own shit. You can record your own videos. You can record your own songs. Like it's
everything seems so
totally
much
changed.
bigger back then. Even like trying to gig. Like I remember like being like so buzzing when I get in with a promoter. Like when a promoter would be like we're going to put on a gig, and be like, yeah, like a promoter likes my band, they're going to put a gig on for me. Like and like it blew my mind, and I realised that I could just book a venue and put a gig on. And that, by the way, that realisation was like quite late on in my career, like Fluorescent Hearts sort of late on.
Yeah.
I realised like, well, we could book a venue and just
put it on
ourselves.
Yeah. So I think like the sort of like the influence and the power shifted away, and it shifted more towards the artist, but at the same time like probably the monetization thing's gone down.
Yeah.
Arguably, but again it depends on your reach, and it depends on like what platforms you're on and all sorts of things, man. It's a kind of a minefield. It always has been, the music industry. I think that's why artists kind of have historically always been screwed over or wronged in some way by the industry, because it is so intimidating and so like kind of secretive and mysterious. But like I say, I think now more than ever, and probably in the next 10 years even more so, is going to be like much more in the hands of the artist than it ever has, because the labels are kind of scrambling now to like retake back some control. So they start taking all these mad like percentages and stuff to try and reclaim the money that they're not making anymore, because artists are doing everything themselves, and it's just going to end up like there's going to be like a breaking point where it just totally changes. Do you know what I mean? I think anyway.
I think like with so like probably like the independent labels, like subsidiaries will start. Is that the right word? I don't know.
Aye, subsidiaries. Aye,
will start to like appeal more to like there has to be some reason why musicians who could just go and do it all themselves would turn to a label, or like I think that the starting to do all of this stuff and starting to do it like the podcast and putting out more music videos is the thing that is sort of like time consuming, is the like dealing with like the third party websites are having to upload this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Would be good to have somebody to lean on that could help do that kind of stuff. That's probably like the only thing I could imagine that labels will really need to start thinking about. Do you know what I mean? It's like
having resources,
guy.
having a resource, a person or a team to like to constantly be on top of that stuff for you.
Yeah,
and also like the money. It's all adverts now and sponsored stuff as well. So like it's like labels will just be like an advertising an advertising agency.
Yeah,
like people paying money for social media promotion and PR, and like making sure all your stuff is like in line, like all your socials are in line and all your stuff looks good, and you're posting stuff consistently and regularly and connecting with your fan base. It's kind of what it's all about now.
Do you feel like, how do you feel with Ocean of You, like where you're positioned now?
It's hard to say, because like
I've noticed in the past like 6 months there's particular things that you've done that have like gained a fan base in certain ways, and I didn't know how it was going to work out for you. Like there's obviously the affiliation with Rangers as well, you've got that stuff going on, but that sometimes that can like backfire, because I've seen it happen to musicians that
Sure.
have done it on the other side,
Sure.
who went with, just because Rangers and Celtic are, there's just a, seems to be a massive
It's
stigma
so,
within.
it's so divisive.
So like
yeah.
as a musician, it can be quite dangerous to take a particular stance, because you're basically halving, or can potentially be halving the people in Scotland that want to listen to you.
Yeah.
But I've noticed, like with you, it's quite interesting, because you don't seem to have that particular, like the typical sort of like stance on football that most people have. You don't seem to have that. Do you know what I mean? And I've noticed that you've not had the backlash that would maybe come along with that. But that's like one particular thing, right?
You're telling everybody about
So-
it. It's
No.
in common.
No, I don't think so.
joking,
And
I'm joking.
really, even if you're not a Rangers fan, there's nothing in Damien's music that's particularly sectarian or
No,
anything like that.
It's
Um,
kind of by accident that happened, really. Like, it wasn't like I was pure, like, going out with my Ranger scarf to gigs and going, man, do you know what I mean? Come on, man. We are the people, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, the Ocean of You stuff's all, like, largely been like personal stuff, autobiographical stuff that's happened to me, stuff that I've been through, mental health struggles with like past relationships, like all the stuff that songwriters write about. It's all been like personal stuff. And like I kind of, up until a couple of years ago, I kind of couldn't give a toss about like football. Like, I think, like, I was always into it when I was younger. My dad was always taking me to Ibrox when I was wee, and I always enjoyed it then. And I think what it was is when I discovered music, when I fully first got into it, I fully immersed myself in it, and there was no room for anything else. So like sport and football and everything like went completely out of the picture. That's when this all happened. Like, I suppose any form of exercise or anything like that totally went out the window. It was all about music, like all consuming, and there was no room for anything else. And then I think, like, as I've kind of got older, and yeah, I don't know what's changed, but I just kind of, like, maybe the past
Made
2
more
or 3
time
years
for it.
I've started getting right
But I
back
think
into it again.
I think that's what's working for you though, is that, like, you're affiliating yourself with something you like. Like, see if this was America and you went and played on the grounds of your favourite team, regardless of who someone supported, they would see that as quite like an admirable thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think that you've managed to maintain your, is it dignity? Like, you know what I mean? Not dignity,
Don't know
but
about that.
but you managed to maintain your credibility, I suppose,
Right,
is a better
okay.
word.
And I think that is the thing, is it's not like Ocean of Views, like, now, like a pure, like, it's all Rangers songs and that, like, it is all my own stuff, it's all my own personal things, like all the stuff that I write. The only difference to that, or the only exception to that, I should say, is that song Higher Than Higher that I wrote and I've put out. That was like, somebody said, why didn't you write a song about Rangers or something like that? I was like, aye. And I was like, I kind of poo-pooed it. I was like, I'm not interested in that. I want to write about my own stuff. And I don't like the thought of writing something to order, or like forcing myself to write about a certain subject. Like, I would rather just, whatever comes out. But in this particular occasion, it planted a wee seed. And then, like, ages after that, I started thinking about it and I had some free time, and I was like, oh, I've got a wee lyric here and a wee idea here, and it just kind of grew into that song. So although it's not like a Rangers song in the sense that it doesn't mention Rangers, it's got nothing about the football club in it or anything like that, but it's like, I was writing it with Rangers in mind, so it's kind of a Rangers inspired song. And that's what's sort of been picked up on social media, and like a lot of the Rangers support out there have been enjoying it. That's led to me being asked along to, like, to the Ibrox fan zone at the end of October, which was absolutely amazing. Played a few songs there, and I've done a couple more kind of Rangers related gigs since then, which has been great. But I would still say they're very much separate from the Ocean of You thing.
Yeah.
Like with the Rangers gigs, I turn up my acoustic guitar and I play like Blue Sea of Ibrox. I play Every Saturday We Follow, and I play a couple of covers, and it's like very much a Rangers centric thing. Apart from the song Higher Than Higher, but that's still like, I still wouldn't go like, oh, Ocean of You, like playing at Ibrox fan zone, or Ocean of You playing at Oswald's bar for that a Rangers night. Do you know what I mean? I would say that's still just me. The only like common thing being that song that I wrote that happened to be inspired by Rangers. But if you didn't know that, you could still, I think you could still listen to it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't even know, man. I didn't
regardless.
know that the song was anything to do with it until
it started
until-
off life as that, but again, it was very deliberately not specific or anything, so anyone could enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want it to be like a Rangers song,
Yeah.
but it is like, if you know that, listen to it, and you're a Rangers fan, you can kind of get the emotion behind it and the intention behind it, if you know what I mean. But it's not like just for that, if you know what I mean. It can be for anyone still.
Yeah. There's a guy that I know through doing like the covers gigs and stuff, there's a guy called Joe Gallagher, and he performs in a band called Toy Tin Soldier. And he was in the sort of Celtic side of things, so he done something similar to yourself, but he was performed on like Celtic Park and all of that kind of stuff, and like through that, I think that's how I don't know. I need to speak to him properly and get him on the show. Actually,
Get him on the podcast.
He's in fact he was playing guitar for a band that were opening for Rod Stewart, so he just came off
Alright.
like a UK tour supporting Rod Stewart, but I don't
And
know
it's
if
like
it was something to do with the affiliation through that or whatever.
because obviously there's a Celtic connection there, but
Yeah, but I mean like
who knows?
no, like I don't think anyone he's done the same thing as yourself, still managed to maintain the credibility with his music. Do you know what I mean? Nobody's sort of like segregating. Do you know what I mean? But that was just one thing though that I'd noticed, but I've also noticed in the past like couple of months that the even just when you're uploading stuff, that people are sort of like biting into the content, and I don't know what it is that's changed, and I don't even know whether it's just the amount of time that you've put in, because you've always been great at like visually grabbing people. Like I think like your logo design and everything is like fantastic.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
And you've always been great like at your own branding and selling yourself quite well. So I don't know if you've noticed that yourself about the sort of interaction sort of increasing.
I think so, but I don't know if it is just because, again, that might be connected to the Rangers thing. I think because more people are following me now than were before. I think it's as simple as that. Like through doing that that appearance at the Ibrox fan zone before, I think it was before the Rangers v Motherwell game, and I posted a video on Twitter and it kind of took off like pretty quickly. So I got like loads more followers on that, loads more like views and followers and likes on Facebook and stuff. I think that's just kind of translated into the like better numbers.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if my approach has necessarily changed in any way, but it's probably just more people, and more importantly, the right people that are seeing my stuff now.
Yeah.
There's people that, and I think because like particularly in this part of the world, like football and particularly the Old Firm teams, they do engender so much passion and so much like emotion that there probably is a stronger connection to it now, because maybe the people that are liking my stuff are mostly people that like started following me because of the Rangers thing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And because there is that like passion behind it, they want to support people that they see as like their peers, their like fellow supporters. Do you know what I mean? It's like a kind of a
I get what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? It's like a kind of a kinship type thing. So maybe again, I'm just speculating. But if I had to guess, I would say it probably has something to do with that.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to get engagement now because the people that are most recently have started following me are like part of that group. And when you're into something like Rangers and you know somebody's a Rangers fan and into Rangers too, you're more inclined to be like active in your support of them, if you know what I mean.
I think as well, like you seem to, the way that you interact with people online now seems to be through your music. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like for a long time you would interact with people as yourself, and like most people just post from their own profile. Do you know what I mean? Their own personal profile, but you seem to interact now on social media just sort of through your musician page. Do you know what I mean? I find that people don't really interact or care very much when I share my own stuff. Like if Chris Ashton shares a CRASHTON post, people don't really interact with my own personal profile, if that makes sense.
Kinda, yeah.
But if it comes from the CRASHTON page, and it could be the same people I've got on Facebook, but it's just weird that they're more likely to interact with the brand.
The original post than like any sort of reshares.
Which is weird.
Aye, it's funny. It's such a fickle thing, and it's like you're always wondering, and you're always hearing the magic word algorithm and stuff like that. You always wonder what's going on behind the scenes for like certain things to get more likes and less likes and stuff like that. And again, I think it's a bit of a minefield and a bit of a lucky dip, to be honest. But I think I probably have been more proactive on the music side this past kind of 6 months or so, maybe longer. And it probably because I have been getting kind of back into it, kind of periods where I wasn't really putting any time or effort into it for various different reasons. And I feel like now that I'm putting, like you say, I'm putting a bit more time into it, putting a bit more care into it. I've been gigging again, which is big for me. I wasn't doing anything for ages, so in a sense I've got something to share or something to talk about. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just being like, hey, how's it going? Do you know what I mean? And you get like 3 likes, do you know what I mean? Whereas if it's like, thanks so much for having me the other night and had a great time at this gig, and here's my set list from this gig, and here's some photos from that. It's more like interesting because I've actually done something, do you know what I mean? Rather than just like posting things
it's hard,
for
man,
the
like,
sake of it, do you know what I mean?
Because I would get caught in a loop of like, I don't want to gig unless I'm doing the right gigs, but the right gigs being gigs that I want to do, but are also going to have some sort of benefit,
of course,
long term, whether it's musically or just the contacts that you're making, all of that kind of stuff. But those sort of gigs don't come around all the time. Yeah. But you also want to stay current and all of that. It's really, it can be quite difficult because there's times where you've got like a month of like nothing. You're trying to think of stuff that you can post. Yeah. But you don't want it to come across as just, here's like, but by the way, you can still listen to my EP. I think I posted that post about fucking 50 times in the past.
Same, and they generally don't get much engagement, do they? So I don't know, mine's don't anyway when I post things like that.
Mine doesn't either. I think it's probably just about creating good content. Like
again, I'm kind of a similar mind as yourself when it comes to gigging. Like I'm maybe not as strategic thinking as yourself with regards to like the opportunities that might come from it, things like that. I think probably I'm in a slightly different situation myself just now, wherein I wasn't gigging for ages, because mental health problems and blah blah blah. That's a whole other story, right? But when I felt I wanted to get back into it again, it was more like I want to like go for it, and like so I was saying yes to things that I maybe wouldn't have said yes to before. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, not that. Listen, that sounds bad. It's not that I would have turned my nose up at the gigs that I've played recently, right? I'm definitely not saying that. But what I mean is I would always talk myself out of things. I would always go, oh, I don't know if I'd be good for that, or I don't know if that would go down well, and it would be more my self-confidence, which would make me say no.
In that situation is that like that's what I mean about the opportunities. So maybe you've not done that on a conscious level, but there's been something that has like appealed to you enough for you to want to do it. That's sort of like just a building block where the next thing has led to the next thing, and it's landed you in a position where you're doing well.
I've ended up doing a few, so, and I've thoroughly enjoyed them all. Like the nerves have been, that's maybe another thing we could talk about as musicians, like the role that nerves play in a performance and how it evolves over time. My nerves have been like worse than ever recently, and I think it's because I hadn't played for so long. Maybe, I don't know, but like the first couple of gigs I did, I was nervous even while I was playing. Like usually it's like you're nervous in anticipation, like up until you go on the stage, and then it kind of goes away when you start playing. Yeah. But the first couple of gigs that I did, December, I was
with
nervous.
The tracks though as well, aren't you? So you've got a lot, like you get the technical.
There's more stuff to go wrong. Yeah. But I was like, I noticed that I was nervous even during playing, and it was like really, really tough. And it took a lot out of me, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do the next one and the next one. But that gig that I did there on Friday, I was like back to like before. So I was like nervous before it, but not like just kind of anxious to go and do it. Yeah. Like it's the waiting part that I don't really like. So I had that kind of antsy feeling before I went on. But once I was up there, I had a great time. I was totally relaxed, and I don't know if it's just because it was in Bar Yellow, which is somewhere that I've played,
Yeah.
you know, quite often, and it's kind of an extension of my comfort zone sort of thing. But I had a great time, and
It comes across in the performance as well, man.
that's cool.
It's good.
Mm-hmm. So I did really enjoy that, man, and I was able to actually relax and enjoy it rather than just being totally on edge for like the whole thing. You know what I mean?
That sort of became your environment up there as well, though. You know what I mean?
Probably,
like,
yeah.
Became quite good friends with Rab that runs the place.
Yeah.
And, like, you've done a good few shows up there.
Uh-huh.
So I think people are coming along. They know what they're. You know how it's going to go, and they know how it's going to go.
Yeah,
do you know
I
what
think
mean?
so. I think that helps.
Comfortability with it.
I think that helps. But in saying that, like one of the gigs I was talking about recently that I was really nervous during, one of them was in Bar Yellow. Again, I think it might have been the difference in my performance than like what I used to do, but just be me and my guitar and kind of do acoustic, like try and do acoustic versions of the songs that I'd written.
Yeah.
But which weren't actually written for acoustic. I decided this time that I would try and do it with the backing tracks, so everything that I'm unable to play live would be in the backing tracks.
Yeah.
And so, as you said before, that probably contributed to the anxiety somewhat, because there is more like to worry about, more to go wrong.
Man.
Like, because I've got one cable going into the DI box with the tracks on it. I've got one cable going up my back with my click track in it, with an earbud, and it's like, what if that pulls out? What if I walk backwards and pull that out my ear and stuff?
Are you running it from software, or are you running it like stereo bounces?
Stereo bounces.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
So there's less can go wrong with that, but it's like, yeah, there is still more to go wrong when, I suppose, when you're relying so heavily on like a backing track as I was there, and maybe that's why I was more nervous. But by the time it came to doing that one Friday there, it had just totally gone. Just felt great.
That's good, man.
Yeah,
That's really good.
That's the first time in a while I've had that feeling. So
yeah, if anyone was wondering what that noise was, it was a air freshener.
I forgot to turn that thing off. I'm always doing it as well. See, when I'm recording in the house as well, I always forget to turn it off, and it's just like,
Did somebody just sniff in that verse?
Yeah, sorry about that.
So where can people hear you? What's your handles and stuff?
Yeah, on Facebook it's Ocean of You Music. On Twitter and Instagram it's just Ocean of You. And the same if you want to listen to my stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. Just search.
I would highly recommend that. Is all your music, is your whole back catalogue available?
Not everything's on Spotify and that. All my stuff is on Bandcamp. So if you want to like the stuff that's on Spotify is kind of like the singles. It's not necessarily representative of like all the stuff that I'm doing. It's just a more kind of poppy, like melodic, kind of upbeat ones, generally speaking. But if you go to oceanofview.bandcamp.com, pretty much all my stuff's on there, including my first album, which isn't on Spotify or that anymore.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks very much for coming on and stuff.
Thank you for having me. I feel like we could have spoke for another like.
I know.
2
We'll do it
hours.
again, man. We will do it again.
Yeah.
And I've said before, like I would quite like to do a show that's just me and you talking and just doing silly goose stuff.
Yeah, I would like to as well sit down with you and ask you some of the stuff you've been asking me, and like get a bit more out of you as well, man.
It's cool, man. We could do that. Could do a Damien Talks. Cool, man.
Thank you very much, man.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks once again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that episode of the podcast. If you liked it or you didn't like it, then please leave a comment. I'd be interested in hearing some of your feedback, kind of what things should be improved on and all that stuff. If you'd like to keep up to date with the podcast, then you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, I think the other app's called. And if you'd like to support the podcast, then you can go to patreon.com/CRASHTON Talks. We're going to try and be as ad-free for as long as possible, but who knows, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.